I'm Helen at Crocus, and I've just been busy running around the nursery and collecting up some of the plants that are looking their best at this time of the year. So as you can see, the nursery is literally jam-packed with colour, and there's lots of things to choose from. But today I just thought I'd show you a few of those things, give you an idea. If you want instant impact, then put these on your short list. So I'll start off with this Lythrum. It's a moisture loving plant, not too waterlogged, but it's very pretty pink, and I really like these sort of slender spires. It looks delicate, but actually it's not a delicate plant. Then we've got a salvia here. This is a really intense purple. So if you want to add oomph to your border, the colour palette in your border, then I would definitely think about including some of these. We've got a Veronicastrum. This one's called Fascination, and it does get quite big, probably up to about 5-6 feet eventually when it gets mature. But it's got these beautiful candelabra-like flower heads, and it looks really elegant, and the bees are going to love that one. I've got a few here actually that the bees are going to love, and you'll probably see lots of bees buzzing around as I'm speaking. This is another moisture-loving plant, and in fact it does go very well. If you want to mix it with the Lythrum, you can see that those two will work really well together. That one's called Liatris Cobalt. This is a Crocosmia. I've got a couple of Crocosmias on the lorry because they're just in flower now. They're looking absolutely great. And I don't know if you can pan across there. You can see that we've got a few of these. This one's called Lucifer, and they look pretty impressive when planted in bold swathes. They're very good in prairie style planting schemes or herbaceous borders, and they're very easy to grow. Moving along, we've got an Agastache. This one's called Blackadder, and again the bees absolutely love this plant, and they make a beeline for it, and so it's really good in wild gardens and wildlife areas if you just want to encourage the bees, or if you've got hives at home and you just want to keep your bees very happy, they're going to love this one. This one's an Echinacea. This one's called Rubenstern, and I've got another Echinacea here called White Swan. These got daisy-like flowers with these petal-like, they're actually called ray florets that come out. Now this one I particularly like, the pink one I particularly like, because the ray florets, or the petals, have this very horizontal appearance, which is great, especially if you've got the spires. They just add another sort of structural dimension. This one, the White Swan, as you can see, the flowers start out like this, and then as they age, this central cone becomes more pronounced, and the petals become a bit more recurved, or sort of droop a little bit and give that quite a structural appearance as well. Now grasses, this is a Stipa tenuissima, and this is probably one of our favourite grasses, although there's a few. This one just has this beautiful wispiness to it, so it just moves when it's in big sways. The movement in the wind is just beautiful, so and it just adds a light airiness to the planting scheme, so it's definitely one to keep on the short list. We've got this incredibly showy Alstromeria. This one's called Flirt. Alstromerias are really popular with florists. The flowers last for ages in a vase, and they're also make pretty impressive border plants as well. Now Penstemons, I've got a couple here. I've got this one which is called and Denken and Friedrich Hahn, which is virtually unpronounceable. It's also known as garnet, which I find altogether much easier. And that really dark purple plum one down the back there, that's called Raven. But as you can see, they've got these really pretty foxglove-like flowers. And they just flower for months on end. So my garden's got stacks of Penstemons in it. This one is a new plant, or relatively new. It's called Echinacea nauchesia, and I just love it for the colour. It's sort of this rich orange goldy colour, and the flower heads are really quite generous, and it's just beautiful. It's not cheap because it's new, and new plants are always more expensive, but it's definitely worth the money. Now I've got the smaller form. This is Verbena bonariensis lollipop, which is a smaller form of Verbena bonariensis here. So as you can see, we got little and large. Lollipop's a small one, and Verbena bonariensis is a tall one. The beauty of these plants is that they create height, these ones, without being too oppressive. So they're really good for just, you know, creating a sense of presence, but not becoming too heavy. They've got like little clusters which almost look like bobbles on these wiry stems, and they just look really delicate and really nice. And this one, as you can see, it's a beautiful colour. It mixes with all sorts of things, and it is similar appearance but much shorter. It goes incredibly well with this Achilla, as you can see. This one is called Summer Wine, and as you can see, the flowers are quite dark initially, and then they sort of, as the summer progresses, they sort of fade to this softer rose colour, which is really pretty. And also, look at the structure of this flower head. It's really, you know, quite flat, and that again adds interest in the border when you mix it up with sort of softer things. And especially I like mixing textures, so these little bobbins of colour against these big sort of flattened plate-like heads, I really like that effect. Now this is a Rebecca, dazzling yellow flowers. This is early bird, so it's, as the name suggests, an early flowering one, and also looks great with grasses. This is my Penstemon, as I've talked about before. Another great grass is this Carex Testacia. Now, I just love the colour in this, and again the movement, but you can see you've sort of got the greens and the golds and the bronzes, and it's just a really nice grass. Another Achilla, this one is called Moonshine, and again it's really good for sort of just lifting things. And these Achillas will go really well with grasses, very good in prairie style planting schemes. And they do, once they're established, they become quite drought tolerant. So really good if you can't be bothered to water all the time, or if you've got really sandy soil, perfect, as long as they're in the sun. Another Crocosmia, this one's called George Davison, and I like this one. I love the colour. It'll flower for months, and it's just really easy, really easy. I've got a hosta here. This one's called hosta Baldiana Elegance, and this is one of my favourites, mainly because I like this sort of bluish green colouring to the foliage. I know people worry about slugs and snails, but you can protect them, you know, just put a layer of shingle down underneath, and that usually sorts them out. This pretty little thing is called Cedelsia LC Hue, The colouring is really soft, and as you can see, the flowers open up sequentially up the flower spike, and this will just keep on and on and on, and the flower spikes get taller and taller until the season ends. But it's really pretty, and again, it's a very easy colour to mix in the border. I have a Nepeta here. This one is Walker's Low. I love Nepetas, and cats do too. Common name is catmint. The foliage does have a sort of lovely scent, but it's just for the flowers really. They tend to come up early, and then if you cut them back, you'll usually get a second flush later in the summer. So it's sort of almost a cut and come again crop. I've included some of these euphorbias. Now, if you've got dry shade and you can't get anything to grow in that dry shady spot, and it is tricky under trees and mature plants, then I would definitely recommend one of these. It's called Euphorbia amygloides robbii. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's evergreen, which is also a bonus. And in spring, it produces these chartreuse green flower heads. These have all faded and nearly gone off now, but you can see this foliage even after the flowers have faded, and you can just pop those off, cut them off to keep the plant looking tidy. These, you know, rosettes of green foliage still look really smart. So again, I would definitely recommend that for a shady spot. So that's it. That's what I've got today, and but as you can see, we've got lots more, and I look forward to showing you a few more things next time.